This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. All right, let's look at your comments from last week and react to them. We're going to start from a video earlier this week. The Browns brought in Shelby Harris for a visit. The comment here is from my man SD1, who says, "This is a major crisis of confidence if they're still looking to bring a defensive tackle in. And why not develop the damn ones they have? It reeks of desperation." The side glance at Shelby Harris. "And what message does it send to the backups? I get Tommy Togiai in mind, and I gather he eloped and got married over the past month. And when he was at the Ohio State, he was known to bench the most in the locker room. Strong like a bull. Idaho methinks. Shine Tommy or..." So I think we got a comment from one of Tommy Togiai's relatives or something like that. Look, man. Look. One, I could care less in the NFL what bringing in a veteran says to the other guys in the room. This is a job. This is a profession. If you're not doing your job well enough, you will be replaced. That's the reality that everybody else faces in this society. That's the reality that NFL players face. They know that. That's the pressure, and they've done that since college. You know, new recruits come in all the time to take their spot. They should know that these spots aren't guaranteed. Two, does it reek of desperation to giving a side glance at Shelby? No. It doesn't reek of desperation. It reeks of a team doing due diligence. And three, why can't they develop the ones that they have? Well, here is the issue. Now, I went in on this on sportsforcleveland.com, but if you have not seen that, then I will talk about it here. There's a cycle when it comes to why a position group can't get it right? And people assume, oh, it's because we're not developing them right. Well, you got to look a little bit deeper into the pipeline than that. Why can't you develop quality defensive tackles? Well, let's look into it, right? What's coming in, right? There's a saying in film and there's a saying in life: garbage in, garbage out. You're going to get into a situation, you're going to get out of a situation what you put into it. What have the Browns put into the developmental pipeline at defensive tackle? 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, 4th round pick, 5th round pick, free agent. So garbage in and you're getting garbage out. Why is that what the Browns have invested? Well, let's take it one step higher on the pipeline, right? Why is this? Why are we getting fed garbage into the defensive tackle room? Joe Woods was the defensive coordinator. His scheme did not value defensive tackles. You don't value defensive tackles. You're not spending a lot of money on defensive tackles. And you're also, like, when there's a chance to cut funds, defensive tackles first to go. So that's going to be the first cut. And then when it comes to draft players, you're more interested in other position groups than you are for defensive tackles. So you'll wait till the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round to draft defensive tackles. Garbage in, garbage out. You know what the Browns have had no problem developing? Defensive backs. You know what the Browns' priority has been over the last few years when it comes to drafting? Defensive backs. 1st round pick, Greg Newsome. 1st pick of last year's, or the year before's draft, Martin Emerson. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's about the resources you put in tell you everything about what you could put out. And the fact is, you might like Tommy Togiai, but Tommy Togiai is not that good. And you're getting out of Tommy Togiai what you would get out of Tommy Togiai. It's not about development. It's not about coaching. If he ain't that good, he ain't that good. You got to get better players. You got to invest in getting better players at a position. And in order to do that, you have to be real poignant about it. Hell, let's go to the Hall of Fame game. Who was the one defensive tackle that looked good last night? Well, not last night if you're watching this, but who looked good at the Hall of Fame game? It was Siaki Ika. It's no mistake. He was one of the first few guys they drafted this year. It's about where you put the emphasis, right? It's about the ingredients. That's all I'm saying. That's how that happens. The next comment is from, y'all know Myles Garrett is elite, right? That had me mad. 360 Addict says, I was listening to 92.3 The Fan and made the point that Jed is filling some pretty big shoes at left tackle, which may be the reason we give him so much crap. Also, Browns fans want to win now, and we call for any position that's not elite to be upgraded. See defensive coordinator, quarterback last year. And I don't even think it's that deep. I think he has bad body language, and people get real upset when athletes have bad body language. I think that's really it, right? And then when somebody has bad body language and you're one of the people who get upset about bad body language, I personally could care less, because I don't think there's enough context behind somebody's body language to make any definitive statement. And I think any body language science is pure garbage. It's been proven to be pure garbage. So I'm not a big believer in body language being this like representation of everything else. I think it's pseudoscience. I think it's complete garbage. But a lot of people do buy into body language stuff, right? And they think it's super important. They see the bad body language on Jed and they freak out about it. And then they make these inferences about him that make them kind of perceive anything that Jed does negatively. And that's how we get here, right? It's the body language. Like, if he were more hop skipper, we wouldn't care. But since he doesn't really have the most caring disposition, people kind of jump all over that and get mad at him. And, you know, his play hasn't been like bulletproof, so it's just going to be what it is, right? The next comments are from The Truth About Browns Training Camp. This is a video I did with P Chops on Twitter. Shout out to him. He's doing big things over there. Wesley James says, thank you for the 35-minute video. I guess y'all like the longer videos. Y'all gonna like what I got planned for the season. I'll just put that teaser out there. You know what I mean? If you like the longer videos, y'all gonna like what I got planned for the season. I try to make sure they don't hit past 40. I know some of y'all would like 40, but I think 30 minutes is probably the max. Y'all gonna like what I got planned towards the season. The next comments, and there's a lot of comments from this video, is from my instant reaction to the Hall of Fame game. Let's see what you guys had to say here. The sarcastic man said DTR better than Kenny Pickett. Yeah, man, this is one of those things where like I just was initially joking with like people about it, but then Steelers fans got so sensitive about it. And I'm just going to say this. I remember when I used to get real sensitive about things people would say about a quarterback. I remember when I would get real mad when people would tell me unflattering things about a quarterback that I knew not to be true. It doesn't happen that much with Deshaun because I know Deshaun Watson's good at quarterback. It happened a lot with Baker Mayfield because I wasn't 100% sure he was good at quarterback. I wanted him to be good at quarterback. And that's a lot of the energy I'm getting out of Pittsburgh, man. That's a lot of energy I'm getting out of Pittsburgh. It feels real bakery. It does. And it's fun to be on the other side of that dynamic. The Mighty Mulatto says is crazy about Jones. As they say, his conditioning isn't even where it needs to be yet. I can't wait to see someone taking him on and then trying to tackle Nick Chubb. Yeah, man, DeJuan Jones is just such a giant person. Like, I have never seen this. I've only seen this in like really horrible attempts in football movies. Like, I'm talking about like not like good football movies. I'm talking about like football movies where like the football is super fake. Like The Blind Side. The Blind Side has some of the worst football I've ever seen. But in that movie, right, they're portraying Michael Orr and he just blocks somebody by going, "Hur." And then that person never moves. That's how they do it in the movie. Go back and watch like the football stuff. It's really that bad. But DeJuan Jones is so giant. He's doing that stuff in the NFL. Like, I saw him at one point. They rolled a play over or whatever, so like the whole line moved. DeJuan Jones grabbed somebody. They just never moved. Like, the whole play went somewhere else, and DeJuan's is standing right where he was. Also, another thing I saw was really cool from DeJuan was he was out here dominating some guy and then just like tossing him back and then able to just get to the guard. Well, not to the guard, but get to the guard spot to rotate over to get to the next guy. He was dominating. Yeah, he was dominating in that game. It was real nice to see him dominate in that kind of a situation, in that setting. So yeah, I look forward to seeing more DeJuan Jones as the preseason continues. Ryan says, great vid, Q. They actually had Jermaine Johnson out there, first rounder from last year. I remember him from the Senior Bowl last year, as well as McDonald. So there were some pretty decent reps for DeJuan. I think JJ was a Senior Bowl MVP or something like that. No, he wasn't a Senior Bowl MVP that year. You know who the Senior Bowl MVP was that year? Former Brown, Perion Winfrey. But yeah, I thought that he looked good against some nice competition out there. Again, the younger guys, like I've seen DeJuan dominate guys at Georgia and everything else. Like I know he can go against the tier 1 draft prospects. I'm more or less kind of concerned about the veteran guys, right? You know, not the Trey Hendricksons of the world. Like obviously you're going to be concerned about a Pro Bowl level pass rusher, but like a Sam Hubbard, right? Can a Sam Hubbard be crafty enough to make DeJuan Jones's lack of fundamentals an issue? Because it's one thing if Trey Hendrickson can get to you and you're a rookie. It's another thing if Sam Hubbard can get to you and you're a rookie. You know what I mean? Like those are different caliber of players. So how hard is it for somebody who really, really, really knows what they're doing at edge, a veteran player, to get underneath those pads and be able to disrupt DeJuan? That's another test for him. These young guys out here, athletic dudes who could do all this stuff, plus stuff. Yeah, DeJuan's still going to be able to do that because he's plus as an athlete there at tackle. But these craftier guys, these guys who know how to take advantage of some weaknesses, it's a little bit more of a question mark. And that's why I would like to see, you're just not going to see much of that in the preseason. The next question comes from Mayban Media, who says number 35 Charlie Thomas was flying around laying the boom on people. I think that undrafted rookie got a chance to make the team. Definitely a chance to make the practice squad at the very least. Again, they seem like to find these safeties every year or these corners every year that can come on and contribute a little bit and look very good in camp. So, you know, shout out to their secondary staff, right? They seem to be doing something right. And I was very impressed with what I saw for most of the night in the secondary. It was that one big play that they gave up, but for most of the night in the secondary, and honestly, for most of the night defensively, I think the one time the Jets scored on on 2 field goals, I believe, and they got a touchdown on a short drive because Kellen Mond threw a terrible interception. So the defense held up pretty well there. In the Hall of Fame game. Let's take it with a huge grain of salt. Ryers on Dalton says, hey, Q, do you think it's realistic for the Browns to move on from Cade York if he continues subpar performances in these regular season games? How many more missed field goals would it take for the front office to decide to move on him? Look, he's in what I would call any kicker category, which is you can miss 50-yard field goals. Nobody's going to be that furious about that. But like 2 40-yard field goals, you're about 2 misses, any kicker in the NFL, 2 40-yard misses or 2 extra point misses in a game from being out the league entirely. Or like in a 2-week stretch. So that's where he is. He's where any kicker would be, right? This staff did not draft him in the 4th round. The special team staff, somebody else made that decision. They're going to rock with it. They're going to see what they can get out of Cade York, try to put him in the most comfortable situation. But hey, if he misses 40-yard field goals consistently, he'll be gone. If he misses extra points more than once, then he'll be gone. Well, not more than once in the season. You can miss it more than once in the season. But if he misses like extra points like 2 weeks in a row, then he's probably gone. If it costs you a game, it's probably gone, right? That's where he's at. But thank you for the question, Ryers. Is that it? I think that's going to be it for commentary. I want to thank everybody who took time out to comment on my videos. I appreciate every single one of you, especially the members, the Patreons, and everybody else. Y'all have a great day. Have you a better night. Really, really solid because it was good all 4 quarters. Like at no point did it dip. That's great. The most concerning thing I saw in the game was the interior defensive line. Again, Jordan Elliott can't look decent against third stringers, that's a problem. Maurice Hurst, it looked a little bit more rusty than I anticipated, so maybe that's not going to be a good thing for him going forward. We'll see. And Siaki Ika, I thought Siaki Ika played well, but that's the only one I think played decent. So that's a little bit of a concern. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night.